Well, hello again, YouTube. I've been getting, I'm out just doing some cleaning on the Farmall M here. I'm just kind of cleaning out the clutch housing, looking at the throwout bearing to see what kind of condition that's in. I also changed my buddy Damian's Road King Harley. I changed his oil for him and transmission fluid. So anyways, I've been getting a lot of inquiries about his Farmall B. It's a 1947, and I'm getting a lot of people that are interested in seeing the loader on it. So here it is. It's a Paulson loader. It's a little bit overkill for the size of the tractor. I know it's pretty light in the back end when he's pushing heavy wet snow, or I don't know if you guys remember in like episode 3 when we moved the M from where it was sitting over here to the driveway, but it was a struggle to get this thing moving. But I've had a lot of guys asking me how exactly he's got this thing set up. So what he did was, first he made his own subframe, so it bolts to the front pedestal, and then from there it comes back and bolts to the torque tube or the clutch housing, whichever you want to call it. And then from there it goes back and bolts to a cross member that goes between the final drives all the way across. So it's a one piece subframe from the front pedestal to the torque tube to the back where it connects to the final drives. And all he's got to do to remove it is take the pin out here, or the bolt out here on both sides, take the 2 bolts out of the clutch housing on both sides, and the 3 bolts on the front pedestal on both sides, and he just backs the tractor out. So it's pretty slick the way he's got it set up. And he's got the loader masts, the rear mast, welded right to the subframe that he built, along with the front support brackets. He's got those welded on there as well. So, and his hydraulics set up, he's got a splitter that comes from the remote down to this T, and then from there it goes out to each cylinder. You follow? So he's got the hydraulic fluid reservoir mounted right next to the gear shift here. He just made some plate that bolts to the side of the transmission housing inside here, and then he's got some cross members for the top and bottom, and he's got the reservoir bolted to those cross members, and the mast for the remote comes up, and he's got that remote bolted right to the bottom or the top of that mast. So pretty slick the way it's set up. The hydraulics are run and mounted off of the same loop that the alternator belt is on. So he's got a hydraulic pump that's mounted up underneath here. He fabricated his own mounts for that. And then he's got the Alternator Conversion Kit, you can see underneath here. But he was having some problems with the belt slipping, so we put an idler pulley in the middle of all this. So it goes around the fan pulley, around the alternator, around the idler, and then back up around the pump. So pretty slick. I think I'm going to fire it up really quick for you, and then you guys can see kind of how it operates. He's having a wiring issue, so you have to disconnect the alternator every time or to shut the tractor off. He just hasn't gotten around to doing it yet. So Let's see, I gotta climb up on it here. Runs really good. So it lifts nice and high. I'll get you guys a better view of the pump assembly here. That's all there is to it. But it seems to run great. You know, that bucket is, like I said, it's a little bit overkill. He's light in the back end. He's got fluid in both the tires. And this barrel on the back he usually fills in the wintertime with water and lets it freeze. But he does not have rear weights. But even if he did, I mean, that's only probably going to add 300 pounds or so. And it's a little light. And he's thinking about pulling the loader off of it. He's also got a belly mower over there by the front of the garage there. And buying a C and putting this on the C. I'm trying to talk him into keeping the B with the belly mower and just getting an H to put the loader on. But anyways, just a quick glimpse of a couple of the other projects he's got going on here. This is his father-in-law's Edsel. So car's in pretty rough shape, but I think he got it for a pretty decent price, as in almost nothing. So, and this is his, I believe it's like a 50 early 50s or even late 40s GMC flatbed truck. And his plan is to take the cab off of this truck and put it onto this motorhome frame. So as you can see, he's got quite the project here dismantling this motorhome. But his plan is to restore this cab and to install it on this frame and drivetrain from this motorhome. And he wants to make I believe a car hauler for his classic cars, for his car shows and whatnot. So he's got his future wife has a 56 Chevy Bel Air 4-door. And let's see what else. Here's the belly mower that he's got for that B. Let's see here. This red truck here is, well, he's had it since high school, and I know he built a 383 stroker and had it and put in there. But he wants to pull the motor out of that and put it into the 56 Bel Air that his fiance has. This car here, I believe he's working on getting the driveline squared up. He got this car from his future father-in-law, and somebody, when they welded in the leaf spring mounts for the rear end, they were not squared up, so when you drive down the road it dog tracks pretty badly. So other than that, I mean, the thing runs great. It just needs to be squared up, and the bodywork needs to be finished on it. Bodywork in the interior. But that's that. I believe, I can't even remember what kind of car this is. I'm more of a tractor expert, so I want to say it's a 30s Ford or Chev. I can't remember. My guess is a Chev, but I don't know. And then this is his Road King that I just finished the full service on. I figure it's the least I could do for him, since he's letting me keep that M at his place. So that pretty much sums it up. And like I said, I'm just working on cleaning out the clutch housing on this M. It's a lot of grease in there, but the pilot bearing and throwout bearing, I can never remember which one is which. This must be the throwout bearing, and then the pilot bearing is in the end of the flywheel. But I think this bearing is going to need to be replaced. I might as well, since I'm in here. But the pilot bearing as well, I might as well replace that since everything's out. Still haven't heard from the machine shop, but there it is. Not much to it. Not a whole lot left of it. My plan is to get the motor together, you know, put the new pilot and throwout bearing in, and get that back in it, and run it to see what my transmission sounds like, if I've got bad bearings or anything like that. And I don't want to pull this top cover if I don't have to. And I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking, now don't half-ass it, but you know, I'm just going to get it together. The motor's going to be brand new, so I won't have to worry about that. Get it together, see how the transmission sounds. If I've got some issues, I'll assess it at that point. But at least I'll know the motor's good, the clutch will be good. So from there, it'll just be a matter of transmission, and that's about it. So my guess is I'll probably have to replace the axle seals, the PTO seal at minimum. I do know that I need one brake for sure, one new brake band. The other one seems to be okay, but I know that just from unloading it. I don't know if you guys remember seeing that video, but when I unloaded it, I hit the brakes going down the ramp, and the one brake locked up. I believe it was the left brake locked up, and actually picked the front tires up off the ramps going down the trailer. So that was a little bit of a pucker factor moment, but we got her done. So that's about it, really. I just been plugging away. Alright, I got nothing else for you. It's 75 degrees and sunny here in Minnesota in the middle of April, and you can't argue with that. Oh, my fiance also got me an International Harvester hat, so it's official now. But yeah, it's a project. You know, between me and my friend here, we've got plenty of projects to take care of, so dirty, dirty, dirty. But we'll get it cleaned up and get the motor back together, and run it. Hope you guys like these videos. I always appreciate you guys watching them, and subscriptions and likes and comments are all appreciated. So you guys take care and stay tuned.